Be it resolved.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Be It Resolved, your weekly fun podcast with this group of four veteran guys. Let's put it that way. My name is Andrew Wood, and I'm pleased to welcome Al Brown to the screen, Sarab Sandhu, and Mario Karakides. Okay, well, no, wait a minute. Let me say, first of all, it's March 17th. And the last time I looked on my calendar, that's a special day. So a shout out to all our Irish friends here and happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. There's Al, he's got a beer to lift, why not? And there we go, okay. Look,
Cheers.
The topic for today is, be it resolved, that manned expeditions to Mars are a waste of money. Okay, and should not be done. Now, arguing for that position are Al Brown and Sarab Sandhu, and arguing against that proposition, myself and Mario. So we're going to start with 3-minute constructive arguments, and allow me to pass the word over to Al.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Well, a manned expedition to Mars has been a dream for decades. And if you look back through the history of the last century or so, there have been many stories about people going to Mars. There is even a story that came out about 120 years ago of John Carter, a guy that went to Mars by way of special devices and had a heroic life in that environment. Well, we are now on the brink of going to Mars, and the question has to be raised, is it worth it? Now, I did some cursory research on what it would cost to go to Mars, and right now the estimate for a one-way trip is only $4 billion. So we can send a group of people there, of 4 people, to Mars. It cost $1 billion each, and of course we couldn't get them back. And we wouldn't have any follow-up missions. If we talked about the direct costs of a mission to Mars, we're talking about $1.5 trillion. Now, in terms of the overall economy of the world has an economy right now of GDP of in 2017 of $80 trillion. And the US economy is about $19 trillion. So it's pretty easy to support that sort of cost. The problem here is that's not all of the costs as I see it. Those are just the direct costs. There's all sorts of additional costs as society focuses itself on this idea of putting men on Mars. And the United States isn't the only country that's going to do this. China is also planning a mission, and their costs are going to be very similar, a similar drain on their economy. And who knows how many other people aren't going to want to go to the race to Mars. Originally, 50 years ago, it was only the Americans and the Russians, and they're going to the moon, and the Russians eventually gave up, leaving the field open to the Americans. Well, now there are more contenders. Even the Chinese are setting up their own space station. They're not going in with the global one, and they're sending their missions to Mars, and to the moon, and they want to also go to Mars. They're planning that. And the Gulf states, I think, has sent a probe to Mars or to the moon as well. So we're ramping up to this. So there's no end to where the costs could be in terms of these trips to Mars. And while there are some economic spin-offs, for the most part, this is a big hole in the ground in which you throw money. There will be no economic returns from such a trip because the resources that would be found on Mars are too expensive to bring back here. Not like the explorations of the continents, North and South America, when the Europeans went overseas. It's a different game. That is my argument. It's a waste of money.
Thank you, Al. Well, I'm going to argue against this proposition. Manned expeditions to Mars are indeed not a waste of money. I'm going to propose to you that doing this kind of thing, going to Mars specifically now, is just the kind of thing that human beings always do. And it's the kind of thing that human beings have done since they emerged down from the trees. It just defines us as a species. We need the challenge. We must have the challenge. We've always responded to these challenges. Earlier, much earlier in our development, the challenge was the next valley, over the next mountain. And of course, that was just as scary and just as dangerous as this one will be. But we've always expanded and always pushed forward. The question of money, of course, is going to be our opponent's chief argument. But I'm going to suggest to you that the bottom line here is not cost whatsoever. And that if we frame the argument in that way, then we're cheating ourselves. We just have to go beyond where we are now for all sorts of reasons. And Mario will get into some of those. But you know what? Just think through history. Think of Christopher Columbus, for example, who could not get any backers for his wild idea of taking off into the ocean blue and falling off the edge of the world until he was successful, until he came back. Now, this isn't to argue about colonialism or any of those issues, but it is to point out the fact that human beings explore. That's what we do. And the next place we're going to is Mars. Okay, thank you very much. And Saurabh, I think you have a different point of view, do you not?
Here's Saurabh.
Welcome all listeners and to this debate. Now, all I have to say is, I say it's a waste of time and money to go there. Now, the atmosphere on Mars is about 1% of the Earth's in terms of oxygen. 95% is CO2 and the remaining 1% oxygen. We need, at least when we breathe here on Earth, is 21% oxygen, and we breathe in and we exhale 15% oxygen. Now, that sort of luxury you won't have there. And moreover, we have so much to do on Earth. There are places where the rover is sending us pictures of all the terrain. We have the same terrain on Earth too. What have we learned from there? I mean, if we are planning to send people there, that's going to be very difficult. As Al said, it's going to be expensive. And secondly, maintaining them in a healthy fashion. The human body, if has to exist, it has to exist in these atmospheric conditions. And temperature wise also, it's half the size of Earth, by the way. So even if you go to Moon or Earth, the only reason they're going now is to have a curiosity to do research, and we say that we are the first ones to go there and hopefully find minerals which they can bring back. But colonizing people there, it's going to be an expensive affair, and Earth is going to be there for a long time. Notwithstanding with the global warming, if they are spending so much money there, they can find ways to reduce the sun coming on here. They increase the lifespan of the Earth. And nothing is going to happen so suddenly that we have to start going to Mars. And before Mars, there's another planet, the asteroid belt. If you see the asteroid belt, that used to be the place where there was a planet called Thymuth, which we are part of, which used to be there. And it got hit by another planet. And whatever was left, half eaten, that was Earth, which came into this present orbit. And the asteroid belt stayed there in that orbit. So these things are going to keep on moving, but we are very happy that the human life is possible here. In my meditation, I think there's no other life possible unless you have the right kind of atmosphere, the oxygen to breathe. So going there is a waste of time. We have lost Andrew, but he'll come back. Back to you.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, Al, you ducked out for a moment there. Are you back with us now?
Yes, I am. I don't know what the problem is, but let's carry on with this debate.
Okay. Well, Mario, it's your turn.
Well, I'm glad Al is back because I'm going to have some fun with him right now and with Sarah as well. Well. So it's too expensive, they say. $1.5 trillion, they say. And there's not going to be any benefits, they say. And it's going to be a waste of money and resources and effort, they say. And you can't get back anything from Mars, they say. And I gotta laugh at that because I gotta tell you, if we can spend $1.9 trillion, and there's we being the United States alone, in relief funds for COVID, I'm sure they can find $1.5 trillion worldwide to not only afford an exploration and an expedition to Mars and multiple expeditions to Mars. And folks, that is something that we don't really look at. And the fact is that this is going to be a global affair. It is not going to be only one or two countries. Right now, the ISS has a consortium of countries that work together to operate the space station. But let me take it even more concretely here. When we're saying we're wasting money, what does that mean? Does that mean that the astronauts go up into space, open their doors, and just throw the money out the window and just let them float out into space? That money gets spent here. It supports industry. It supports workers. It supports science exploration. It supports ancillary industries where food and janitorial services and telecommunications and aerospace and flight and medical innovations that are being done because of exploration. For example, if we are to look at medical, for example, one of the greatest innovations that are happening is portable units that can do diagnostics like ultrasounds. Telemedicine is a direct result from being able to go into space, because part of going to Mars is to looking after the human body and being able to intervene when there is medical issues with astronauts. And that is something that doctors, you're not going to have doctors to come with you all the time. You're going to have people to be able to help them correct the issues when they do happen, emergencies do happen. Talking about Sarah and terraforming, which was one thing that you guys were talking about. Terraforming Mars is something that is futuristic, but does it have direct implications here? Of course it does. Can you imagine, as Sarah so aptly said, that we have similar soils here and there? What if we can learn how to rejuvenate dead soil here from the knowledge that we're gaining with terraforming Mars? Yes, Mars can be terraformed. And science has shown it can be created into a greenhouse effect by using this CO2 to create an atmosphere that could be breathable, to create there are obviously technological issues that have to be resolved because the Mars does not have a magnetic field, but those things can be looked at and how they can be corrected down the line. Science is progressing. But bottom line, folks, if we stay here in terra firma and we don't go out, we are doomed. We are doomed because this planet is finite. Where our planet is middle-aged, let's not forget. Okay? So if a meteor hits us, bye-bye, Charlie. If when our sun becomes a red giant, bye-bye, Charlie. Humans have to leave the planet in order for our species to survive. I will leave it there, and I will enjoy arguing the other two down the line during our open forum.
Okay, well, you packed a lot of arguments into your 3 minutes there, Mario. So let's have our round robin now there. Al and Sarab, what do you say to all of that?
Andrew, I say that what Mario is talking about is a whole bunch of fluff. It is wild ass guesses to the 10th decimal place. You're thinking that all of this can happen because because the future will be just like the past. The American space program in the 1960s did result in a whole host of technological advances. I think that we wouldn't have the internet today, and we wouldn't be able to do these podcasts if it hadn't been for the American space program. You know, there's one very innocuous, a very common thing that we have nowadays that we use that came from the space program. It's called Velcro.
Well,
And
Al, you're
that
making
was-
our argument for us, though. I mean, in the last
Oh,
30 seconds, you've been making
I'm
it. No,
saying,
but that is our argument. So you're assuming that there won't be the same kind of benefits from the Mars program. I don't
I'm
think you can
saying
make that
that it
assumption
is
at all.
foolish to think that the efforts of the future will result in the same sort of benefits as we've achieved in the past.
Those are
because-
inevitable. And Mario and I both appreciate your helping us make our argument.
And furthermore, the efforts by the competition between the various nations who want to go to Mars is going to be a bottomless pit. It will be a pit in which people throw their national resources. Now we're talking money here, but money is the resources. It is the wealth of the nations. If we pour it down into this, it will not be available for other things. It's like having a crushing bank debt that you've always got to pay off. Once the base is on Mars is established, the need to support it will be endless. It could be for 100 or could be 1,000 years because it'll take that long to terraform the planet and make it independent.
Okay. We
I-
made
I-
our
I-
point,
I-
Sal. Let's let somebody else
That's
come
an
in.
answer. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
want to chip in here. For a start, when Mario said the sun, when the sun goes, here goes terra firma. So will Mars. It's in the same solar system. So if you're there, you'll be the same boat. What I'm saying is all the money and resources which you're spending now, if we can improve the plight of the people on earth at the moment, there are so many people below the poverty line. Why can't they get checks, just like a stimulus check, to improve their lifestyle, to improve health, improve everything on earth? This is not trying to find a future way of living. Rather than the present way of living, you can enhance that and use those resources there.
When we're talking about Mars, we're talking about Mars being the first step of the human beings actually
Right.
stepping out of the planet and going beyond just our own neighborhood. Okay, so when we're looking at Mars, it's the first step. In order for, yes, our sun will eventually become a red giant and die off, right? But by then, a couple billion, 2 to 3 billion years from now, we will be able to leave not only our solar system, but be intergalactic or galactic travelers. So the ability to scientifically to be able to leave this solar system is going to be very much within our realm. But beyond that, to take it more concretely, when Al Brown says that these are all wild guesses, no, these are all concrete things that have been right now applied. The Velcro is just one tiny little scientific thing that came out of it that is used in every day. Internet, again, Al Brown said, with communications, fiber optics, laser communication, all these kind of things are part of it. Travel, being able to get on an airplane, being able to fly very short distance with very short time by using stratospheric type applications where you can fly in multiple Mach as opposed to as part of the aerospace industry that's come out. All these things are part of the space program and part of the money that is being invested right here. Terraforming Earth is a direct result. Getting water supply to people, water, okay? Right now, they've got reusable water systems up in the ISS where they take urine and liquids that come out of solids to be able to transform it into potable water. That can help people here on Earth where water is not clean. Let's not forget that this is coming directly from space programs. Folks, you are arguing outside of the
No,
realm.
I disagree. It's the salination and the water from the sea has been done for a long time.
I'm talking about desalination.
Well-
I'm talking about cleaning water.
Right. No,
The same thing.
Mario, you used a very important word that needs to be emphasized. And the word is investment. We're not throwing away money here. We're not putting it somewhere we don't know where it's going. No, we're making an investment. And we're not only just making an investment, you're making the biggest investment of all in terms of the future of our species and of the human race. And again, I'm going to go back to the heart. I'm going to go back to the heart of what it means to be human and to argue that humans are not going to go out there and do what they can to cross over that next mountain That's what we're going to do. And any argument that it's not practical or it's expensive, those are specious arguments, bottom line.
Well, if you're so interested in doing that, the best way to do it cheaply is meditate. When you meditate, you can go anywhere you want, any planet you want. You
Trust
don't-
Rob to take
No,
care of
that is very important because that's first you have to look after yourself. Go inside your planet.
Okay. That's another debate there,
In regards to meditation, I recall a story that I read about 40 years ago. It said that in the mid part of the 21st century, humanity would find the ninth planet in the solar system. And this was from a yogi somewhere up in Nepal or Tibet. And he discounted Pluto at the time. He says, no, you haven't found it yet.
Okay.
So they found it using their mind, as Sarab has said.
So
We don't
if that's
have
the-
to go up in a rocket
so if
to
the
find
mind
things.
is,
We just use our minds.
so if the mind is so powerful, then why don't we use it for the benefit of humanity, for the benefit of our species, for the
There you
benefit of
go.
our spirit, to be
Okay.
able to see beyond our little tiny cocoons and our little limitations?
Okay, good.
Push it.
Thank you for bringing the debate back to where we started there, Mario. It's time for our wrap-up statement. Mario, do you want to make a brief wrap-up statement? That'd be great.
The brief wrap-up statement is this. It is essential for the survival of our species right now and into the future that we do go to Mars, that we learn how to survive outside of our planet, and also to be able to protect ourselves right now from extraterrestrial type of events like meteors, to be able to have planetary defenses, to be able to use the resources right here, right now to employ people and to have it towards scientific exploration rather than military or other things. That is the best and brightest way that we can use our minds today. So folks, if you want to survive, if you want to have a good quality of life, good water, and smarter kids that are into the STEMs, going to Mars is the right thing.
Okay, thank you, Mario. Sarab, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are that going to Mars is a total waste of time because there's so much you can do to improve the lifestyle here. And we're going to be here for at least 1,000, maybe 2,000 years. Nothing is going to happen to the earth. This is scaremongering over this and that, but at least 1,000 years, nobody's going anywhere, maybe more. So why are we planning it now? And secondly, the chances of that happening, if you look at a business plan, it's not possible on Mars to have a viable society and spend so much of money to go there. Even if that happens, by the time we transport so many people there, it may still not be viable. So stay here on Earth, improve the condition on Earth, stop global warming, increase the lifespan, and that's it.
Okay, Sarab, well, it's my turn just to thank you. It's my turn just to introduce a final thought. And I must say that these arguments against going to Mars because of money, cost, waste of money, those are specious arguments. They just are. Look, we're going to Mars. We are going. And it is not something that you're throwing money away. You know what? Our hearts are sending us there. And so it is an investment. It's an investment of our individual human lives, of course, and what we choose to do. But much more so than that, it's an affirmation of who we are as a species. And it's what makes us human. If we were any other creatures, then you're right. I mean, complete waste of money and inconceivable. But anything that the human mind and the human heart can conceive of is something that we are going to do. And so these money arguments, no, that's a waste of time. It's the benefits. So we focus on the benefits, and that's where we need to go, and that's where the debate should be, in my opinion, because we're going. Okay. Al.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, the audience, the world is littered with the relics of humans' best intentions. These grand projects that have that people put all of their efforts in that failed. And Mars will be just another one like that, because it will simply cost too much to maintain, and eventually it will be abandoned. Now, it's a nice dream to have, but I think we should take a pass on this. One of these days, we will develop a space drive that will allow us to go not just to Mars, but far beyond, to the other solar systems. And that's what we need to waste for. We need to invest our money in that. The only reason I could think that we could go to Mars is we could send our undesirable people there. In fact, if there is going to be a mission to Mars, I volunteer that Donald Trump be one of those that goes to Mars in the first tranche. He is one of the first 4 that go. We'll have Putin with him as well. And let's see now, who else can we go in there? There's probably 2 other members of the Rogues Gallery that should end up going on that first mission.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. But Al, thank you very much. Other than that,
it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
And money is of human resources. We look at dollars and cents, but really it's the sweat of our brows. That is my closing argument.
Okay, Al, and Mario and I are kind of rocking here in our chairs because we so much appreciate your helping us to make our argument. That is yet another reason.
I have not made your argument. I think it'd be better to keep Trump here in jail.
And Trump here.
Okay.
How are you going to get them with better propulsion if you're not going to invest in space exploration?
Okay.
But anyway,
to all of our listeners, this may not be obvious at the moment, but the debate is finished. So thank you very much to all the contributors. We invite your comments, and what do you think? I mean, is it indeed a waste of money, or is it something that we need to do and it's the right thing to do? So let us know in the comment section. Now, just before we say goodbye, we're going to have another lively debate next week, and that's something to look forward to as well. And the topic that we picked at this point is to talk about, be it resolved, that 1 year of government-regulated service should be compulsory for high school and/or college graduates before they embark on their careers.
Community.
So that's what we'll be debating next week. In any case, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Before we go,
Bye.
gentlemen, happy St. Patrick's Day.
There you go.
Happy St. Patrick's Day on Mars, everybody.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you
everyone,
for listening.
and bye-bye.
And please subscribe so you do not miss another episode. Thank you.